afternoon, children. How are you all? I hope you all are doing great. And until our last week, before our exams, we were in the science subject, we were studying the chapter insect. Half we have finished the introductory part, and the next half we are going to learn it today. Okay? Yes, children, we were studying of these beautiful creatures called as insects. In our previous class, we have studied that insects, there are many varieties of insects. And then they love to feed on flowers. We spoke about butterflies. And then we saw that insects have 6 legs and they have this wings which help them to fly. So let's continue. Children, do you know insects like bees, ants, termites live in a well-organized colonies? They are called as social insects because these insects, they live around wherever the human being, the colonies, they are there. So that's why they are called as social insects. You might have seen lots of bees, right? A honeycomb, honeybees and everything hanging around on a tree in your gardens. And ants are very commonly found in every house. And termites, as you can see in the pictures, they eat a lot of wood, and also you'll find termites also everywhere. So that's why they are called as social insects. Now today we are going to learn about few interesting insects which are actually useful for all of us. Okay, some insects, they are actually beneficial. Not every insect is a harmful insect for human being, but then some are useful also. So today, in today's class, we are going to learn about these useful insects. And first and foremost are these cute honeybees, right? Aren't they beautiful, children? Honeybees are one of the insects which are very useful for us. They build their hives on trees and roofs of old buildings. Yes, children, these honeybees, you'll find it everywhere. They build their hives. The hive is nothing but the house of a honeybee on the trees and on the roofs, like outside your windows, those roofs are there, right? You'll find one thing hanging or in any old buildings, right? Now let's see how they are useful for us. Honeybees are usually attracted. Let's go back. Honeybees are usually attracted to sweet smelling flowers. Such flowers produce a sweet liquid called nectar. Children, you know these flowers, inside the flowers there are sweet juices. Okay, those this sweet smelling flowers, right? Those flowers which are having very nice smells and all, they have this some liquid inside them. Okay, inside their stem and all. So what happens, these honeybees, they get attracted towards those flowers and they suck the nectars. Nectar is nothing but that sweet liquid inside the flowers. So these flowers produce a sweet liquid, nectar, and these honeybees get attracted towards it. So you can see the honeybee, it's sucking the nectar from the flower. So what does honeybee do? Honeybee sucks the nectar from the flower and carries it to the hives where they live. You can see the chain over here in the picture, children. Honeybee is sucking the nectar from the flower, like what you are able to see on the screen. And then what does it do? See how nicely it's carrying. See, that is not just a picture that they don't carry in the bowl. They carry it in their body. When they suck, they store that particular nectar into their body, and then they go and put it in the hives. They put it in the honeycomb in one hole, you can see, right? In that they fill the nectar inside their honeycombs. A beehive consists of many 6-sided chambers called comb. Children, this beehive is nothing but honeycomb. Okay, like many honeycombs together, it makes a beehive. You can see here yellow pictures, right? Let's count once how many sides are there of one particular hole of a that is nothing but comb. Okay, one particular hole, this is called as comb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can make it out that one comb is six-sided chamber. It is like a small room. It's like a small hole, and it has six sides of it, six wall. It's not a circle. It's not a square. It is not a triangle, but it is six-sided chamber, and each these holes are called as combs. What are they called as? Combs, inside which the honeybees stores their honey, and all these combs together they form a beehive. Honeybee stores the nectar in the comb. See how you can see here light shade combs wherein it is empty. You can see a little orange over here wherein the honeybee has filled in the honey inside that. What are the honey, whichever they have made it? Tell me. It is the nectar which is collected from different flowers. The nectar changes into honey. As I said you, the nectar changes into honey. Honey is collected from beehive by lighting a fire under it. Now see, we all are very much aware that it's very dangerous to it is very dangerous to go near the honey beehive, right? Because if the honeybee bites, your skin is swollen, and if your honeybee attacks, then it becomes more injurious for our health. So if we want to collect, traditionally how do they collect is, if you find a beehive under a tree, what do we do is, under the tree, under the beehive, they lit a fire. Okay, they lit a fire, and with the fire and the heat and the smoke, all the honeybees, they vacate the beehive, and the beehive is being collected. Children, but one advice for you, because you have learned these things, you're not going to try this, because as lightning under the beehive is done in lots of precautions, mostly in night time, and nobody is allowed to be nearby, because when the honeybees feel the fire, feel the heat, they just rush here and there, and if they find anybody, they will attack and they will sting on them. Yes, so do not try these things. It is always done by some supervision and some experts, they do it. See, can you see each six-sided combs over here on the screen? How nicely the honeys have been filled in. The heat and the smoke drives the bees out of the hive. The honey collectors then removes the hive and collects the honey stored in it. Once the heat and smokes, when the bees are drive out of the honey hive, the honey collectors, what do? They remove that particular hive from the tree or wherever it is being placed in, and then they collect the honey from it. And children, for your knowledge, a colony of bee in a beehive has about 50,000 to 80,000 worker bees which collect the nectar. You can see this is one colony of a bee or something, a beehive, wherein there are around 50,000 bee workers. In this sense, 50,000 bees work together to fill in nectar inside the hive and make it a honey. Nearly 50 to 80,000 workers. And children, one interesting fact for you all, it also has a few hundreds males bee called drones. However, only one queen bee is a hive. You know, the male bees, honeybee, in the honeybees, the male bees are called as drone. Okay, and these are, see how many workers are there. They look like this, a little bigger, and many workers which look like this. And each hive, okay, each that particular beehive has one queen bee, one queen bee. As per her, the works get happen. Now let's go ahead towards our second insect. It is the silk moth. Children, you have heard a lot about silk, right? Silk, what is silk? Silk is a material, it's a thread. Silk, correct? So we wear lots of silk clothes, right? Silk sari, silk kurta, silk dupattas. So everybody must definitely be having one silk cloth in their wardrobe for sure. If not, you, at least your mothers definitely will have silks, right? How nice, shiny they are. So from where do we get it? We get it from insects. You know, silk is being produced from insects. Silk moth. We get silk from silk moths, which grow on mulberry leaves. The silk moth secretes a liquid which changes into a fine thread. The moth weaves a cover around itself with this thread. Now, children, one very interesting fact for you is this particular insect which you are able to see on the screen is called as silk moth. Okay, what does it do? It lays eggs, okay, and that eggs, when they hatch, a caterpillar comes out of it, okay, a caterpillar comes out of it, and which feeds mostly on mulberry leaves, okay. This is a plant of mulberry plant. You can see on these, the caterpillar eats all these plants. So when it grows off to an extent, and then what does it do? This caterpillar starts secreting a liquid. It starts giving out some liquid from its mouth. Okay, you all have a liquid in their mouth. The same way, these particular caterpillar have liquid in their mouth, and with that liquid, when they put out the liquid outside their mouth, that liquid turns into thread, fine thread, and the changes into fine thread, and it covers itself with that thread. It covers itself with that thread and covers up fully. You can see here, yellow color, this one, it fully covers and becomes a shell, so that that particular caterpillar turns into a beautiful silk moth, into this beautiful insect. So whatever the cover, outer cover, whichever we are able to see on the screen, that is being taken out, and with that cover, when they are with a process, there is a process, with that the silk threads are being made. I'll just show you on the mic this one. You can see here first picture wherein a silk moth has laid so many eggs on the leaves, mulberry leaves, and you can see from one egg a caterpillar has come out, and then when these caterpillars they start eating in my third picture, you can see on my cursor on there, those caterpillar eats up the mulberry leaves and grows, and once they grow, you can see here a picture, this caterpillar has started secreting the liquid from their mouth, and it is weaving a, yes, you can see in the picture, children, over here, how this particular caterpillar has started weaving the thread around itself, and finally when it weaves, you can see in this picture, it has weaved completely around itself, and this particular, when it gets solidified, it becomes a cocoon. You can see in the last picture here, and when inside that, when the caterpillar turns into the silk moth, it will start breaking that cocoon and it will come out of that, and this white color cocoon is taken, and once the silk moth comes out of this cocoon, these cocoons are used to make silk. Isn't it interesting? You can see these are the cocoons inside which the caterpillar turns into a silk moth, and then when it comes out, these are left out, and with these you can see it looks like a cotton thing, right? Threads. So these are actually boiled and they are turned into silk threads. This cover is called cocoon. This white color cover is called as cocoon. These cocoons are collected and silk thread is obtained from them. Now coming to our third interesting insect is lac insects. You can see here, children. So they are actually like this. They are very small insects. So their pictures, male are having like this. They are having wings, and these are the males without wings. Lac insects usually grow on banyan trees. They secrete a semi-solid substances called lac. Children, what they do is they actually grow on lots of banyan trees, and even these insects, they secrete a liquid, semi-solid liquid from their mouth. That liquid is called as lac. What are they called as? They're called lac. That's why these insects have got the name called lac insects. And now what do we do with this particular lacs? These solids, you can see these, right? You can see these red things which are covering on this particular wood are nothing but secreted from these particular insects. And these lacs are being collected, and these lacs is used in paints, varnishes, printing inks, and making bangles and similar things. These particular lacs are collected and they are used inside the paints, varnishes, and you can see these bangles are also made out of those particular lacs. You can see over here lacs have been collected and they are solidified and they are turned into the bangles. Lacs is used in the paints, varnishes, printing inks, and for making bangles and similar things. Now, last but not the least for today's session, we have these beautiful insects called as ladybird beetle. Yes. So what does these people do for us? These insects do for us. Ladybird beetle, it eats a large number of pests that are harmful for our plants. Children, you know it very, very well, saying that if we put plants in the gardens, you have our leaves starts, falling off, or insect starts eating the leaves, which will not allow our plants to grow. Some insects are found in the ground and they start eating the root and our plants get damaged. So what does this ladybird beetle do for us? These ladybird beetle, it does not eat leaves or plants. Instead, it eats the other small insects or pests which grow on the plants and which damages the plants. You can see here how nicely this ladybird beetle is eating those insects. So see, these ladybird beetle, they attack the pests, they eat off the pests. So in turn, what is happening? Our plants are getting saved from those harmful pests, and any which way ladybird beetle will not eat the plants. So in turn, it is helpful for our plants. Now, into some interesting facts, you can see here a man is actually has a setup wherein these honey bees come and make their beehive. So rearing of honey bees for collecting of honey. So why do they do it? So that later on they can remove all the honey bees from the hive and they can collect the honeys out of it. So this process of rearing of honeybees for collection of honey is called as apiculture. What it is called as? It is called as apiculture. Rearing of silkworm. See, I said you right. We get silk from the silk moth, that cocoon, correct? From that cocoon, what they do it, they take out the thread. So for that, there are many companies. What they do, they keep these silk moths in their companies, okay, and they produce, give them mulberry leaves and let them grow there. And then when these form into cocoons, the cocoons are collected and to make silk. So rearing of silkworms for getting silk is called as sericulture. So rearing of honeybees is called apiculture. Rearing of silkworm is called sericulture. This was it for today's class. Okay, I hope you like the useful insects. You know which insects produces what for us. We have seen honeybees, which gives us honey. We saw lac insects, which gives us bangles, and then we use it in varnish and all. Ladybird beetle we have seen, and then we have seen this interesting silk moth, which gives us silk. And the next part of the chapter we will see tomorrow. Until then, bye.